Welcome to Fazcast, the ultimate podcast for FNAF fans, gaming, and Minecraft roleplays. Today we're talking about Fazbear Frights. I'm joined by Callum today. Hello, Callum.
Yo.
And we will be discussing a lot of theories and stuff. So, Callum, why don't you just
So
start?
let's start off with the first book, Into the Pit. Let me just say, Into the Pit is a phenomenal book to start off the series. And let me just tell
Yeah.
you, the stories in it are, well, the first one, as you know, Into the Pit, is a really good story. The whole premise of that story, let me just tell you, I want to talk all about that one. The premise of this story is the kid, right? He 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 goes to this place, like restaurant Danny's place, and he finds out it's an old Fazbear's or something like that. And in the past there was loads of tragedy. And he goes into the ball pit, and then he goes through time, kind of like a normal FNAF story for Fazbear's Fright. Like he goes through time, and then he's exploring this time period back in the 90s. He meets his dad in that time period, and like things start going on. Then this weird Barney character that we think in the start is someone in the suit, because from past experiences from the original FNAF, we think be in a suit, right? Because it's obvious, and we figure out it's a monster that's built on agony. So like the agony and tragedy of the past coming back to haunt us. Into the Pit, the first chapter of the book series, the first line of books. We're going to talk about the main one, though. We're not going to talk about the ones on the front covers, since there's so many, and there's 3 in each one. It would be too much to count. Yeah. So,
So, we're gonna start off with, Into the Pit. What are your theories on the Into the Pit story,
well,
Callum?
I think the real problem is, why does it exist? How does it exist? Like, is there
story
something going
or
on there? Like, is the ball pit made out of agony? Is the ball pit the agony thing?
um no, the theories that I saw, it's a no, the spring bunny is trying to get back to the child so he can release himself into the real world.
Yeah,
But
but he pretends to be his father. What does that achieve for him?
I don't know, that's such a weird premise. So yeah.
Yeah, so why? Why just go through all that trouble to become someone's dad?
So my theory is my little theory that the spring bunny was his father or something like that. Like it past relic. It's William Afton or something, and William Afton is his father, and that's the metaphor for the crying child trying to escape. Well, of course, the
But
animatronic.
isn't the series kind of in its kind of different universe or something? I think, yeah, it's in the same universe, right?
Yeah,
The
it's a
problem
meta.
but the
Meta.
problem I see with it, right? His father does show up in the end. He tries to stop the Barney. Have you seen the Dorco music video?
Of course, he
Into the
does.
Pit. Yeah, in it, the father does show up and he fights back. And he's not the father, obviously. The Barney isn't the father. But why become this guy's father? Like, what does it achieve in the end of things, right?
It
So,
does achieve nothing though. That's the problem. Nothing happens.
well, let's talk about the next book then. Fetch. Now, I think we all know what
No, no, no.
Fetch is. And
Yeah,
do you want to know something about Fetch?
yeah.
He's based on the dog animatronic in FNAF 1, the one animatronic that was used as a hoax animatronic. Obviously, Spot took inspiration from that, the hoax animatronic
And
dog.
pretty little dog.
Yes, the hoax animatronic dog from FNAF 1, and he thought, let's make that into a book. That's where Fetch was born. Now, the problem is with Fetch, now there's a theory going on, Fetch has the latest technology, even though he was built in the 90s. You got to think about that. How is that possible? Like, it's obviously Fetch isn't possessed, but like,
I have a, I
why?
have, I have a theory. I have a really good theory. So at the start, they go
Yeah,
into the picture and they see a figure
it's only
rushing
one
through.
person, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. There's one person rushing through, and they only see the shadow or something, the kid. And my theory is that that person replaced the old robot, just some dumb animatronic, with Fetch the robot and gave it the instruction and stuff. That could be William Afton or something like that. That
But
would be
no, William Aston has never showed up in a series except one series when he's in room something something. I can't even remember the number, but it's in
well,
700. Room
well,
111.
maybe, yeah, maybe that is the person that is
No, but
rushing
the
around.
pizzeria has been abandoned for years. No one's been in there for years. So what would be the point of doing that when he doesn't even know? And remember, I think it's still linked up to the original Freddy, so that means he's probably in a Sprinlock suit by then. Do you think
Yeah,
about that? How does that make sense?
but in this universe there are many locations.
I know,
So
but there's
we,
many plot points too. So
yeah, it's so
you can't just
confusing.
all explain all of them in one go.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed. So we okay. We gonna try to solve the most obvious ones. Um, so what stories do we have, Callum? Give us some stories.
okay. A
Random.
story on Fetch in the Fetch book. I can give you some.
Okay. Wait.
Oh my
I
god.
have it. Well,
What about Lonely Freddy?
Lonely Freddy is a really good story about families and how you should be nice to your family.
Yeah, that one really hit differently, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So what theories can we make from that?
Well, I think there's loads of them at the end of the book, isn't there? There's obviously
Yeah.
been multiple Lonely Freddy that have taken people's souls and then
Yes.
inserted themselves into the bodies.
We saw that at
Why?
the
That's
end
the
in one book.
question. Why would they do that? Like, do they want a chance at life?
I don't know. Are those
So many
maybe
questions.
those lonely faces? Because at the end of I think 11, book 11, you
Yeah?
get through. Eleanor is behind everything. Eleanor
Eleanor's
has
behind everything. Oh, yeah, we can't forget about Matt Pat's theory too. That each book, at the end of the book, there's a little other story at the end of it, isn't there?
yeah yeah
And that story goes all the way to book 12. And that story is the fourth installment of that story. There's actually four stories in one book. And this story ties all the other ones together. And it's the
yes.
Stitch Race story. The Stitch Race.
We all listeners should know what this stage wave is.
Yes,
But if
Matt
you
Pat
know,
said very much so.
but if you don't know, the stage wave is the end skeleton combined with two spirits of two children
It
that are.
kind of looks like Blank from Five Nights at Candy.
It does, to be honest.
Yeah,
It
no,
does.
it's got everything. I think it was inspiration.
Yeah, could be. And they have a trench coat on and a mask that looks very similar to the puppet mask, but
We
without the
can't forget
teeth.
about the story with the two children inside, and there's probably a third person. One of those children is Cassidy.
No. There's Jake and there's wait what?
Yeah, but one of
There's
them's a
Jake.
representation for Golden Freddy, or the crime child,
Yes, indeed.
Ethan. So, if we think about this biology, that all these books are linked up with one story at the end for the Stitch Race and the mad inventor who made the Stitch Race. If we think about it, at the end of it, what really happens? What happens to all this? Because obviously, when Fetch is done, something takes place after Fetch.
It does, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
What after fetch? I think after fetch comes in the timeline is new kid. Yeah, the new kid.
New Kid. Yeah, New Kid is a creepy one.
I think that's even the same pizzeria that they go in.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Because the stage was closed too, right? That's an important detail. The stage was closed
The
on
stage was closed, yes, the stage was
on
closed.
both of the pizzerias. And but I don't think we got a description in Lonely Freddy. I mean Flash, about the what's it called? About the mouth of because the door in the new kid was like this Freddy mouth thing.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that was really horrifying actually. I think.
Yeah, the
But
New Kid. What about the breaking wheel?
oh my god, Breaking Wheel is such a horrifying story.
I know,
Um,
right? Like, total horror.
straight up horror actually.
Just completely just deaf, all of us.
But it wasn't really connected to anything Five Nights at Freddy's, wasn't it?
I don't think so. The creepiest one I think was to be beautiful.
Oh, probably yes.
So it kind of plays off the vanity of our society nowadays. Like,
Okay.
everyone thinks they want to be who they want to be, right? But in society, dictate all rules. People look at people now differently. If you want to be beautiful, you have to look beautiful in this modern era. And it kind of plays off that vanity side of the girl who wants to be beautiful because she feels like she's ugly. And I
Yeah,
think
but
that's a
she isn't.
I think that's a representation for everyone in the world right now. That
Yeah.
society dictates how you look, and if you look good enough, you'll get anywhere in life. And that's not true. You should play off the personality. But I see what Scott was going for there, and the artist, and obviously the book writer. They were going off the fiction that society as a whole judges you on how you look.
It does. But come on,
Truly, truly.
we don't want to go too deep here into the real world.
You're
Because
right. You're
after that,
right.
we're still talking about Five Nights at Freddy's books. Yeah.
There's a meaning behind each story, and it always tells you a tale about how you
Reality.
look on yourself. Yeah, about reality.
That's really weird. Well,
Oh.
what can we talk about still?
Well, what do you think? What book do you think we should talk about?
So we got, of course, the Stitch Wave stories, and the most I think controversial story, or not really controversial, but interesting to say at least, that Fazbear Frights and the graphic novels, or just the novels, are connected.
The graphic novels. I hope they're good. Wait, isn't the artist in the graphic novel was like some bad person or something? There was a
Yeah,
controversy between one of the artists for Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, she made like weird stuff, man.
yeah. That we won't talk about that
We
today.
don't talk about that.
Maybe
Obviously,
another time. Maybe
yeah.
another time, but not
Like,
today.
let's go on the theory that if they're all in collective, right, and all connected in some way or what,
Yeah.
why do these things exist? Why did Fazbear or like the Five Nights at Freddy's Corporation make these animatronics? What were they getting out of it?
I don't think they make them like haunted and stuff. I think that's
No,
Eleanor's
but like
that's
if they,
Eleanor's work.
yeah, but I don't think Eleanor made Fetch the way he is. He was made by the Freddy Fazbear's Corporation as like some
But
animatronic mascot.
he wasn't made to connect to cell phones. That he was
But
not.
he evolved somehow to do so. It seems like I think the Freddy Fazbear Corporation was trying to make a perfect animatronic that could evolve, like a singularity, an ever-evolving machine.
Yeah, that would probably be William Afton works. Yeah.
William Afton would be dead by then, though, because it takes place somewhere in the 2000s. So William Afton's already.
Most of them do take place in the late 2000s. Yes.
Yes. So if we take that into account, we kind of got a set line that William Afton is behind everything.
Yes. No.
And most of this
Eleanor
was the
is
Freddy
behind
Fazbear
everything.
Corporation's own decision. Eleanor, yes, but I don't think Eleanor was behind all this too. She couldn't be behind it.
Wait. If you read the final story, the final Brave story, they explain that everything that happened, out of stock,
Yeah,
where the bunny with ears, I mean with real teeth and real eyes, that was Eleanor's work. That got explained. Lonely Freddy was Eleanor's work. She reprogrammed the robots.
that
In
was
the book.
Eleanor's work, right?
That was Eleanor's work. Yeah.
But not all of them were Eleanor's work.
No, not all of them. I mean, like Into the Pit wasn't Eleanor's work. No, at
No,
all.
no, it was obviously some remnant or something. Because in the end of Into the Pit, in the end of that whole book, there's a fourth little installment about this guy saying how Remnant, that's how we discover what Remnant is in Into the Pit, that it's an agony. That agony can come from anywhere after someone's death. So the
Yes.
Yamtrunk per se doesn't have to be possessed by anything. It'll just be possessed by the left materials of the agony left behind by those people who've been killed. So if we go off that basis, that means agony is mostly the main cause of the entire FNAF series. And that
That is
half
true.
the animatronics, like for example, Balloon Boy or like the toy animatronics, they were never possessed by it.
They were just agonized.
They were agonized, yes.
But that would make more sense because the animatronics are still creepy and stuff. They kind of still do the shit that they do.
And the creepiest thing is that these animatronics have the power to inflict pain even when they're in the pizzeria. Like, let's take Step Closer, for example. Foxy sings a jig, and the song becomes reality.
Yes.
That's just
That
terrifying.
was a curse made by Eleanor, though. So we got again.
Eleanor, I don't think Eleanor made that curse, though. That makes no
No,
sense.
Callum. That was explained in the final story that Eleanor cursed everything. Eleanor is the cause of most of the story.
But
Fetch.
Foxy activated on its own. How
I
could that?
know, but at the beginning of the story, they speak about that they see green candle and green light everywhere, like a ritual or something. That the ritual is made by Eleanor. She escaped, and then next victim would do like
Do you know what
cause
I
of
think? I'm going to say my opinion here. I think it was just plain simple that he was getting what he got because he was a mean person.
that
Like
could be
Lonely
also.
Freddy.
I mean, Lonely Freddy was also cursed by Eleanor again. She reprogrammed all the Lonely Freddies. So everything really connects to Eleanor again. But who is Eleanor? The question is, who is Eleanor?
Who is Eleanor? She's not Elizabeth. We all
She's
know that.
definitely not Elizabeth. No.
But who is Eleanor?
That's what I said with the novels are connected to Fazbear Frights.
Do you think
It,
Eleanor's just indictingly a bad person, or is it a big plan she's planning? Something super big?
I mean, she did already kinda, but that's not the end of
Oh, one more thing. We
Frights.
have to put this on quickly. We can't forget that there'll be a new book series coming out for
It,
Security Breach. Maybe that will explain more about Fazbear's Fright too.
Callum, that's already out like a few weeks
How
ago.
many books out now?
Like four or two.
Already? Jesus Christ, they're printing them like crazy.
They came out last year, Callum.
They came out last year. I thought they were coming out this year. I thought more was.
And that's where we learn about the mimic, and Eleanor is probably still connected. That's interesting.
I still think Eleanor was kind of like, she wasn't really that good of an antagonist.
Yeah, but she's really important to the stories. But again, the question: who is she? What is she doing in that universe?
What's she doing there?
Maybe she found out how to travel to other universes or something like that. Or maybe all the universes are connected. Maybe Scott tricked us.
No. That's definitely not right. You can't just say that, man. That throws off the other FNAF lore. What's it called? The FNAF books, the first ones,
Which ones? The
the
novels?
ones that aren't related to Fazbear's Fright. Yeah, the ones with the twisted ones and all that.
Wait,
That's,
Callum, that's what I was talking about. The novels.
those
They
novels are in a different universe. We all know that. It's
Yeah, we know
proved by MatPat.
proven by not. So they are
MatPat said they are in a different universe, and yes, they are, because Elizabeth isn't dead in that universe.
Yeah, that's creepy. Oh, I don't like that at all.
Sorry, guys, we just saw a picture of Eleanor. She's really lanky, man.
Oh, I don't like that picture. She's
No one
really.
does.
I don't know. She's her character is
I
weird.
love how you react on that. I don't know.
The eyes, the shifty eyes, and the
That's how
way
she looks.
that's kind of creepy.
I
And
know, right?
the way
So creepy.
she moves like a
She's like a
normal.
lanky She's like my mum, I swear. She's lanky as hell.
Okay. Come on. Yes.
Lanky
Okay.
lady.
Lanky lady. Let's go. That's what we're gonna call Eleanor now. Lanky lady.
Lanky lady. Or we just see we go, lanky
Oh my god, it's lanky lady. We're getting
lady.
kind of off track here, actually.
We're going off track, yeah.
Yeah.
How long until the podcast gonna end?
that. Yeah,
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you
Callum.
so much for being here.
Yes. Bye
See you
bye.
later.